Today, I am sitting down with the incredible Chrissy Alger. This woman has scaled a skin clinic to 7 figures with zero experience in the industry and never owning a fucking business before. Then she turned around and built a coaching business to multi-7 figures within 2 years.
So I built the medical centre, and unfortunately I had it in an area where the average age was about 85 years old. These people wanted to take me down. They were like, how dare she set up a medical centre in the middle of a residential area, making complaints every step of the way. I was up for 150 grand to fit out another shop and I was fucking homeless. I'm obsessed with business. I'm committed and I'm motivated and I'm an executor. But I really started making money when I started working less hours in the business.
So how did you go from freaking broke to buying
Homeless.
to
living in a waterfront property on the Gold Coast?
Yes.
Oh, look.
This podcast is being recorded on Gubby Gubby land. We pay our respects to the traditional custodians of this land, our country, and elders past and present. Buckle the fuck up for this one. Today, I am sitting down with the incredible Chrissy Alger. She runs Freedom Mastery and Beast Mode Marketing. She won ABR Educator of the Year in 2022. And her career story and her fucking life story is genuinely unhinged in all the best ways. This woman has scaled a skin clinic to 7 figures with zero experience in the industry and never owning a fucking business before. Then she turned around and built a coaching business to multi-7 figures within 2 years. She's built businesses in industry she knows nothing about, nearly went broke multiple times during these startup phases, made more money during COVID than before it, and she's openly said the beauty industry doesn't like her because she's a hardcore truth teller. She's had people she considered her closest allies try to take her down behind her back. She's anti-system, fuck the system. She's obsessed with animals. She travels 3 months of the year. She's passionate about getting rich while doing the least amount of work possible, which honestly... Same. Chrissy, welcome to Tell Me About It.
I might write that down somewhere. I want that to be like my walk-in music every time
So like poof, 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 like
put a bit of beef behind it and we're good to go.
Honestly, if you guys are watching this, she was like dancing and clapping and laughing the whole time, then it was great. This is the energy that we all need, honestly. And like you are unhinged, but I love you for it. It's the fucking best. I know. And we love a polarizing sister. I know you've said that you're such a hardcore truth teller, and obviously I kind of liken that to myself. I often say that like I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm some people's shot of tequila, and I'd rather be that.
Sure.
Yeah.
You are probably thinking, why is she saying Lumia? That's a story for another time, probably.
Honestly, when we first met at a fucking charity thing and ended up at Crown.
Yes, Crown Casino, way too many drinks, me screaming in the middle of the casino floor.
I know, and I was like, and how the fuck have we never met before? And you're such a bloody vibe. It's so good.
So now every time I talk to Cait, she calls me Lumia.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my pet name.
So what's some of the truths you've told that have pissed people off? Because I love watching your hardcore, don't give a fuck, this is my opinion things. And I think, to be honest, there's too many beige people in the industry. And I think sometimes we need to share a little bit of a hardcore truth or a belief or a whatever. Yeah,
look, I came out of an era, and I don't even know how to sort of word. Again, it's no holds barred, this podcast, but I've started working with a guy who we both know at the start of my career, who was he's a psychopath in the end. That I
genuinely
an actual one. And I'm a psychologist, guys. Also, we probably forgot that bit. I'm actually
oh my God, sorry.
I'm a psychologist, believe it or not. And I used to work in the prison system. So when I say someone's a psychopath, they're legitimately a psychopath.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Anyway, he was really, really fucking good at marketing though. Like one of the best. Taught me everything there was.
Marketing himself, and this was
that's how he hoodwinked everyone, right? He was such a good marketer that you'd come to trust him and then he'd steal all your fucking money, right?
Yeah.
Well, little did I know that was kind of going to be the end, but authentic, trustworthy me sort of goes in, it can see the skill sets for what it is. And he used to sell this model called low barrier entry to marketing. And the industry just call it discounting, right? There's far more sophisticated than that, but the hair, beauty and the skin industry fucking hate it, right? And I'll tell you why they hate it, because I love it. They hate it because when you're running a promo that is lower in value, and obviously it's got a whole funnel behind it to make it successful, the clients are really hard work, right? The other thing about bringing in volumes of foot traffic into your salon or your clinic on an offer-based promotion is that if there's something shit in your business, that promo will fucking break it, right?
Yep.
Like if your deposit collection's shit, if your front of house person doesn't know what they're doing, if your marketing follow-up's non-existent, this marketing strategy will fucking sink your business.
Can I also say, though, actually any marketing strategy will. So I hear this all the time that people are like, but I need marketing. I'm like, we need to unfuck everything that is happening in your business before you then go and market it.
Correct.
If you're marketing at the wrong price because you haven't sorted your pricing out, if you're marketing the wrong services, the wrong people, there's so much that has to happen before that happens.
Yeah. Yeah,
but especially in the case where you're doing lower cost entry point.
But what the industry didn't like about me is I was basically telling people they had shit fucking businesses, right? And they're like, no, it's the discount clients. Like, it's like, no, man. Like, honestly, 70% of these clientele can be converted. I fucking tested it, right? My skin clinic started as a low barrier to entry model clinic, right? And it absolutely kicked my ass in terms of understanding client journey, retention, consult structures, marketing touch points, appointment confirmation processes. Like, it kicked me in the ass in every way possible. But as a result of cleaning up the mess, I built a really solid, high-profit business in a reasonably short amount of time because the low barrier to entry model showed me where my ass was hanging out.
That feedback loop is strong, right? It's like
strong, and salon and clinic owners don't want to be kicked in the nuts 15 times in 1 week, right? So they'd much rather blame the marketing than take responsibility for the weak points in their business and say, well, I don't want to do marketing that brings in bargain hunters. And 100%. It's like, it's not that. You consult shit. Like,
yeah. I think the hardest thing with that too is, and like we do it too in the first few weeks of coaching, where I was like, I'm going to expose everything in that you don't want to see because you have to see it, because you're not going to see it unless you know what your rock bottom is and what your starting point is and what your jumping off point is. And it's going to hurt and it's going to suck and you're going to look at it and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
But it has to happen.
Yeah.
You have to be able to see what's broken so you know what to fix.
For sure.
This Band-Aidy bullshit.
I know, but people just don't like the intensity that delivers at, and the rate, and it's very, very uncomfortable. And a lot of people just don't want to play business like that.
Yeah, I mean, no one's coming to me because I'm going to be soft with them. So
no, and I think probably your audience and my audience are probably a little bit more sort of willing to get in the ring and go a few rounds. But skin and aesthetics, right? Particularly because I do hair, skin and beauty, skin and aesthetics. They're kinesthetic. They're a little bit more sort of soft, not soft, but softer in their approach to business. Yeah. And they don't really respond at times too well to the throat punches of a marketing strategy.
Hairdressers need to be told. They need to be slapped into place and then they're like good and they behave, you know?
Yeah. I'll get it.
I think that's funny. I mean, that's a huge one, and I love that. I think that there's a lot of denial and a lot of avoidance and a lot of whatever in this industry, especially when it comes to business. It's like, oh, things are fucking up. Whose fault's that?
Yeah. And then I suppose some of my other truth telling, and this was another one that I really got slammed for, but telling it like, we've been convinced that if you educate your client, they'll just buy the thing. And being a psychologist, right, one of the first things that I implemented when I came into my clinic was I overhauled the consult methodology to include motivational components and not just education. And, the clinical world of the beauty and the skin really didn't like it because I'm like, fuck your niacinamide. Like, I don't give a shit about your formulas and your what's in the product.
Like they're fucking clients with the technical jargon. That's one thing I say. I'm like, can you stop? Our client cares about the result that they're going to get and how they're going to get there. They don't care that it's got fucking oil of jojoba and it was made in Fiji. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah, they're like, no, I need to educate my client. I'm like, you're not educating, you're confusing the fuck out of them.
You're bamboozling the fuck out of them, literally. They're sitting there going, I now feel really fucking stupid. Thanks for making me feel like that.
For sure. So they didn't like me for that either. They wanted to keep using big fucking bullshit words in their consults and making themselves feel like they know something rather than serving the client and getting the result. Yes. A full ego thing. And yeah, they didn't like that either.
And look, I'm absolutely not a psychologist, never would be, would never put myself through that much school. You amaze me for that. But like, in the basics of psychology of buying too, it's like mirror their language, use terminology they understand, make them feel warm and good. Mm-hmm. Don't sit there and throw these words at them. They're like, I don't know what that technology is or what that means or why I need it, or now I'm just confused and now I'm so many words and now I don't remember anything and run away.
Yeah, or even I'm going to do it this way rather than that way, and then a hairdresser tells me all the fucking 14 points of how they – I'm like –
And the foil pattern.
Don't care. I just want the picture.
No, I fucking love that too. And look, do you think your psychology is one big part of what's made you so good at business? Because you entered, I want to say this, like most people in the hair and beauty industry actually go into business quite early. You weren't in this industry. You had this whole other life before entering the industry, and you entered the hair and beauty world with a business. Fucking, it's the best.
What a bloody lunatic is what I would say looking back on it now. Like, because my business was skin, right? I just thought, oh, well, what are 3 things that I really like? Because I built like a medical centre / wellness holistic. It was holistic service.
Yeah.
And I put the skin clinic, I put the yoga studio, and I put the allied health consulting in there. And I didn't know anything about all 3 of those businesses. Like, I've never fucking, you know what? I don't even like yoga. I had a yoga studio. If you ask my mates now, I fucking hate yoga, right? But I wanted to hide psychology in all the yoga, like the mindfulness practice, like more of the, the breathing work, and sort of dress it up in yoga as a way of getting people in and regulating themselves, Same with the skin. Like people lying on the bed for an hour, that's a long time to help someone build their self-confidence and, treat their skin in a way that's going to have them feeling really good. And you know what I mean? So for me, it was about what are the services that I know have potential to actually really change people's lives. And I just sort of plucked them out. And, not so much do I love skin. I was a big consumer in skin, but not so much yoga.
Yeah, great skin. Yeah.
But just kind of going, okay, well, it can't be too hard, surely. Like I could figure this out.
I think you need that level of delusion to do well in business. You actually need to just go ham. You need to go ham. I actually really like that because I think wellness comes in so many formats. Obviously, it's look good, feel good. Obviously, it's feel good. Like, and it's about like what you're consuming and what you're doing with your body and how you're taking care of your sleep. And like, there's so many elements to it. But, the mind and body all correlate. Throw some skin in there too. Why not?
Yeah. It's like and then the first business, it was the second business coach I had looked at my model and just went, mate, this is when I was going broke. And he was just like, okay, shut everything down. We're just going to do one thing at a time. And I literally had to shut 2 of the businesses down and do one at a time and build each one up individually, pretty much start all over again. So,
I always say this, I have done it myself. I've opened a second salon twice. When the first one was going so horrifically, I just thought I could do it twice, because, you go through that, like, just doing all the things and more money and whatever else, but you don't actually face anything. But I say this often, which is like, I could get you, if you want 10 businesses, you can have 10 businesses. The 2 to 10 might even come within 12 months of each other, but you have to get the first one right.
100%.
And then start the second one.
Then you build
whatever.
from there.
So I love that he did that for you.
Yeah, that was one piece of advice that he got right, besides his psychopathology, which we'll just put to the side. But that was one, and the goal is to do that, obviously, is to shut everything. I had to shut everything down to start with and open up one at a time. But, everything was on the line. I'd sold, like, properties. I'd spent my life savings. Like, I was in a cushy government job for 10 years before that, with a really good income. I'd never, ever been staring down the barrel of a empty bank account going, fucking hell, what am I going to do now? Because literally, if I don't work this out, I'll walk away from this losing all of my life savings. Most of the houses that I'd purchased, I had to sell one to open another commercial shop front to move the skin clinic out. Like, it's just,
How old are you at this point?
Hey?
How old were you at this point?
How old was I? So 2017 is when I opened. So
That's 9 years
that's
ago.
mid-30s. I was mid-30s.
Fucking scary. To be selling property in your mid-30s to actually move it around to go into business.
It got that bad that I was living in one of the houses that I owned. And it's funny because I'm presenting at a fuck-up night in a couple of nights, and this is actually a little insight, right? This is why what happened. So I built the medical centre, and unfortunately I had it in an area where the average age of the neighbours was about 85 years old, right? Now, these people wanted to take me down. They were like, how dare she set up a medical centre in the middle of a residential area? They were like peeping over the back fence, looking for compliance issues, making complaints every step of the way. What ended up happening is I did have a medical centre permit, but apparently skin is non-medical, right?
But it's also not retail.
Yeah, so well, this was the thing. The council came to me and said,
unclassified.
You've got permission to run medical-based services. You need to go and get a rec permit for the yoga, which we'll approve, but this skin clinic has to go. You don't have permission to run that here. We'll give you 30 days to shut it down and get rid of it. And at this point, I'd spent all my money on that fit out of the medical centre because I bought the building as well. And I'm like, I've got no money to move this out into a separate shop.
Just pick it up and move it. No worries.
I'm just like, what am I going to do? I had to fucking sell my house because it just started kicking off. Like I was just starting to fill the books and get my head around it, and the marketing was, and I was retaining, and then I'm like, I can't let go of this right now. I've worked my balls off to get to this point.
Also, it's like in your mid-30s at that stage of life too, this is where you're really starting to like wealth build, and you're concentrating on where you're putting your money, and you're investing, and you're doing all these things like that. And then you're just like, oh my God, I have to move one section of my business out because of a fucking tick box with the council.
Yeah, because Betty down the road got pissed off about the extra traffic, the extra 3 cars in the street after 7 o'clock. And then boom, here I was up for, 150 grand to fit out another shop, and I was fucking homeless.
And so lesson learned in that too is, guys, do some research about where you're opening. Bloody hell.
Like, I learned so many lessons around permitting, like council regulations, because that was down in Victoria at the time too, which is regulated to the fucking eyeball.
Yeah, I remember mine too. I just remember ours as well. They're like, they would change it all the time. So I remember I had all these new floors done, and then they were like, oh, now you need to do these floors. I'm like, you just approved these floors. I don't have like a spare 10 grand to do extra floors. What are you talking about?
It is relentless. They are anti-business down there in Victoria. Sorry if that offends anybody, but
absolutely.
The communist regime, I call them, again, if that's offensive, but you ain't getting anywhere in business down in Victoria, is my opinion.
No. And so I guess that's something that might have prompted the move up to the Goldie.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. How good's Queensland life? I'll never
Seriously, everyone just moved to Queensland, and that's why we've got a bloody house price crisis up here at the moment.
I actually disagree with that. I think that Southeast Queensland has finally caught up with the rest of the country. This is paradise here. Yes. Mate, when I first moved to the sunny coast, I bought my apartment for like $500,000. And where could you buy an apartment anywhere that's 2 blocks from the beach, anywhere in the country for less than that? Seriously. It's finally caught up. Crimea River. It's progress.
Yeah. Well, I just bought a property, so I'm like, it can go up now.
I know. Big congrats. Hey, you bought the big bougie house. We love it.
I did. I got a bougie house now.
I love that. So how did you go from freaking broke to buying
homeless? To living in a waterfront property on the Gold Coast?
Yes.
Oh, look, God, we need probably 4 days for this. But look, I think, when you open a business and I think, and this is the psychological component, right? Like, my view on business is there is such thing as failure, but the failure is only as powerful as you allow it to sort of dictate the next move, Yeah. And I was never one of these people that had a challenge or a bottleneck and went, I can't do this anymore.
Same.
Like, I'm kind of like the person that's gone, oh, fuck, that's a bit of an issue. And then 2 seconds later, there's a workaround.
I can literally picture you sitting there saying that, just in your calm face, just being like, That's a bit shit. It's like, oops.
And look, no shit, like this does traumatize my team at times, like in terms of, I've had some major problems in business over the last couple of months. Like I had a VA agency that we used to outsource a lot of work to, and I'd literally just give it to them, like loads and loads of work attached to my marketing agency, and they fucked up really badly and I had to cancel the contract. And next minute, I'm saying to the team, right, guys, we now do VA services. Congratulations to us. Let's go to the Philippines and acquire 15 VAs to run all the services that we need. And they're sitting there going, are you fucking serious? Like, we can't even do the work that we're already doing and we're now a VA agency? And I'm like, yeah, man, these people can't do what we need them to do. So we need to bring it in-house. And then within a week, we've got recruitment running, we've got interviews going, we've got systems being built. We're now a VA agency.
But I feel like this is something that I really respect about you, and we talk about this a lot. There's a lot of plagiarism in this industry. There's a lot of copy and paste. There's a lot of like monkey see, monkey do, then release the Temu version of what someone else is doing and hope to call it your own. But something I really like about you is you read a market and you find what works, and you find a problem and you find the solution, or you create the solution.
For sure. And I'm like, really? I see that as primarily my job. Like, that was the whole idea behind us doing coaching and then marketing, because I'm like, well, fucking, I'm not sending them to other marketing agencies that don't give a fuck about their sales, don't give a fuck about their attention. Yep. They go, oh, we got you 200 leads this month. Who gives a fuck about the leads, right? Like, it's end to end. We need to know how much money we're making. Right, marketing agency, let's go, let's do it. And then the next problem evolved was that salon owners were shit at lead management. Right?
Horrible.
Like, so do you think this person's going to book with you and you've told them all your price, all your, all the shit?
There's no creating value. There's no conversation. There's no warming up. There's no anything. This is one of the reasons that I recently fired my sales girl. I was like, honey, that is not a sale. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. I'll have the conversations. Don't worry about it. I'm like, you just, no.
So I just take that. I'm like, here, have a VA, Philippine. I've trained them. They'll do everything that you need them to do, and they'll just follow the system that I've created. So I am the freedom creator, right? If I find a need for a salon or a clinic owner, my default position is to, how do I make this easy for them? How can I get it systemized, automated, outsourced, so that they don't have to worry about it? And that's the way that I do my own business as well.
I actually said to someone recently, I can't remember who it was, that I was like, I actually think the best jobs and things to get into, or the best businesses to get into, not jobs, is the in-between jobs. I think housekeeping, I think gardening, I think service things, I think time-consuming things, because the reality is every family now, if there's two adults in that household, they're working, they're busy, they're trying to make money, they're trying to get ahead. This is not even restricted to business people. This is just general population. Yeah. Find the jobs that take a load of other people. And even now with the rise of like independent hairdressers, skin people, beauty therapists, like they don't have the time to be doing all this background stuff and all of this question answering and booking and client inquiries and blah. Like,
and it's a waste of fucking time. Like, if I had $1 every time I saw in an industry group someone going, does anyone know how to build a Facebook ad? I feel like going, Karen, fuck trying to build Facebook ads. Like, you've got bigger fish to fry. Go and manage your team, love. Yeah. Go train your team. Fuck the Facebook ads, go and outsource, Or just save $1. Oh, this marketing agency is very expensive. And I'm like, oh, you know what's really expensive? You sitting on your Facebook ads manager for about 13 hours, swearing and trying to contact support because you can't figure out how to target an audience. That's fucking a waste of time and money to me.
Here. The amount of people that are just like, I just can't afford a housekeeper. I'm like, babe, you spend your entire Friday out of your salon cleaning your fucking house for 8 hours when you could pay someone $200 to do that.
Mate, like I don't even fold my own jocks. I haven't washed a pair of my own underwear for the last 10 years.
I love it.
Don't even fold my own undies.
I love it. Well, from someone who's nearly gone tits up financially multiple times to now not folding your undies for 10 years, that's a pretty big win, I'd say. What a turnaround.
Absolutely. That is the hallmark of success in my books.
Oh, I love it. I think that we have a very similar belief on that too, that it's like, and all these people are like, oh, work smarter, not harder, doesn't exist. Well, it does.
It does.
It does. I made the most money in my salons when I was not on the floor of those businesses. 100%. The most profit and the most revenue by a mile by the time I was off the floor. And even now, same sort of thing. Now I've got a beautiful team of women who help me with all the other things, and I get to work less and do more of the creative. And again, it's the most profitable I've ever been. And I know that you're exactly the same with that.
100%.
So you made more money during COVID in your skin clinic than prior. How?
Yeah.
Because you were in Vic as well. And Vic was
We couldn't operate.
Bloody
We
hard.
were the longest shut down in the world. So, you know, it was a really interesting time to me, but it was like, I am someone that's prepared to, when I see a group of people go that way, I generally run the other direction.
Thanks.
Salons and clinics, and we were in such a bad way down in Victoria. Our industry were being told to look, shut down, make the most of it, go and upskill yourself, go and take time with your family. You know, we were all sort of, and again, people were really, really distressed. And I get that. Like, there are a lot of people out there that had built reasonably good business that maybe could have taken a bit of time off. The government was throwing money fucking everywhere, right, to keep businesses afloat.
Necessarily need it or deserve it as well.
No, 100%, right? So there were businesses that were able to just sort of, you know, they weren't financially thriving whatsoever. People were in a bad way mentally. There were all kinds of things going on.
Yeah.
But you could kind of coast through it if you want, because your team were being paid, you know, to sort of stay on. You were being paid sort of a minimum wage. You know, you could probably just get through it and get to the other side. But for me, it's about, well, what's the opportunity here and what are people not prepared to do? That's where I fucking sign on the dotted line, right?
That's not.
So pivoted online. We were doing online skin consultation. We were doing like at-home facials. We were doing huge retail, e-commerce. Like literally my therapist, and I did reduce I had a team of about 5 at the time. I did reduce the team down to 2 and made the others redundant at the time. But those therapists were fully booked back-to-back weeks in just online consultation.
It's incredible.
Right? You know, and the demand was so significant because I knew how to run ads. I knew how to, you know, get traffic. We knew how to, because we'd done cold market, right? All of our business building was off the back of low barrier to entry. So we knew how to get people to show up to appointments. We knew how to get people committed. We knew how to sell and package it up and send it out. It was easy for us to pivot and make that happen. So obviously we were building coming into COVID. Shutters came down, and then when the demand online became really evident, because everyone was just sitting in their houses doing bugger all, right?
Drinking wine and cleaning.
And they had money to spend.
I think it's so funny, isn't it? Because I remember during that time when you were doing that, and also another pretty well-known hairdresser in the industry started doing at-home colour kits, like retouch kits as well.
Yep.
Well, wasn't there fucking uproar?
Oh, we got slammed. Yeah, it's home. You're going to burn
you're minimising our industry and you're diminishing our blah, blah, blah. I'm like, if you're butthurt by people sending out colour to help their clients not feel like garbage in the middle of a lockdown, and you're trying to teach them ways to better look after their skin, guess what? When your doors open again, if your service is great, they'll come back to you.
Yeah, for sure. And that's exactly what happened when we swung our doors open. I remember the video that I did. When we opened, it was literally like our inbox was just doing like appointment requests, because we were doing home deliveries. We were, you know, doing surprise gift boxes every week. Like, you know, we were still online. Like, we were still visible. We were still present. We were still in people's homes. So when they could actually come in and get a service, we were the place that they came.
And our barbershop membership saved us. Our barbershop was closed. And the hardest thing with that was I lost 2 to construction because they were just like, I'm so sorry, I've got to go find consistent work. I'm like, do what you have to do. Yeah. The other thing that I found really hard is they're all earning, you know, $1,100, $1,200 a week. All of a sudden they're on $500 or $650 or whatever the fuck it was. It's really hard as a single person. But our membership saved us. Our memberships kept us going. And then it was the same thing once we opened the door. It was like, everyone's in for a haircut. And then they closed again. Same thing, my coaching business grew. Why? Because despite the fact that I was sitting at home, inside, feeling like shit, unable to walk my dog, single person, not able to see her friends, nothing like that, because we couldn't even go outside of our houses, I showed the fuck up. I was on every day doing something. I was talking to people. I was helping people. My business grew. My coaching business grew phenomenally throughout that time.
Yep.
Take it or leave it.
I know. So I think it's that the willingness to do what other people are not prepared to do, and every adversity to me presents an opportunity. I mean, even now, like people are carrying on about the fuel crisis and the cost of living and all of that sort of stuff. I'm over here going, where's the opportunity? What's next? Oh, fucking great, AI. Oh, that's something that we could do. You know what I mean? I never see any adversity as a setback. I see it, there's something that's going to come out of this that's going to completely change the game or create an opportunity that I didn't know existed.
I think if you're not adapting and evolving and working with the changes that are happening, you're just going to get left for dust.
You do.
You're going to get left for dust because for every person that's not evolving, there's 3 people that are. You know, you want to be one of the other ones anyway. No, I love that. I love that you did that. It's so smart to just be like, girls, if you don't want to look horrific, get on here and look after your skin from home. We'll show you how. We'll do the online training with you, and then we'll send you the stuff.
People were so down. Like, they were so happy. Yeah.
I love that. And look, you speak about this pretty candidly too, and I definitely know I have as well, which is you've had some of your closest allies and people that you have genuinely trusted try to take you down in life, in business, and then pretend they kind of didn't do anything. And without naming names, like, how did you find out what happened? Talk about that. Because tall poppy syndrome is fucked.
It really is. Like, and I think the most challenging part for me is I'm such a face value person. I call a spade a spade. I'm so straight up. If I have a problem, I'm happy to talk through it with somebody. And, you know, I think at the time that it was happening to me, there was so much underground, you know, when you think maybe someone's talking about you and you're not sure and there's weird things sort of playing out and going on, and in your head you're going, oh, that's a bit weird. That's a bit weird. That's a bit weird. But because you're a straight up face value person, you give people the benefit of the doubt, and you just hope that if someone's got a problem, they'll come to you about it, because that's what I do. Right?
I find, I don't know if this is your experience as well, but I often find when I go straight to the jugular, or when I go and speak straight to the problem or the person or whatever, then they have to go, oh, no, everything's fine. And it's like, just tell me.
Yeah, I'll tell
me. I'm a big girl. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Just fucking tell me.
I'd rather know than not know.
Same.
Right?
Exactly the same.
When there's all this shit going on and you're trying to piece it all together, and it's a bit like a bloody Rubik's Cube with, you know, that you can see it all sort of playing out, but you can't really make sense of it. And then I'm going to these people. Is there something that I should know right now? Is there something going on? Are we all good? Is there anything else that we need to talk about? Is this resolved for you? And you're getting yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir. And then you got people going behind the scenes just knifing you in the back. You just think, really? You know, and it's happened to me on a few occasions. And really sadly, if I was to, I had a mentor ask me this question the other day. She said, of all your biggest sort of blind sides or your blow ups with these individuals, what do you think is the pattern? Like, what do you think has contributed to this? And I think it's been the pedestal effect. Like, I think that my dealings with people have led them to put me in a really high standing, not one that I've asked for, like, or not one that I'm suggesting is real or anything like that, but they've put me in a high stead. And then rather than rise to that level or do what they need to do to come up to that level, their inability to do that leads to them wanting to actually take me down as a way of actually making themselves feel good.
And isn't it this weird thing that happens? You're just existing, doing what makes you happy, helping people, everything, and they put you up on this pedestal that, like I said,
not fucking me, right?
And rather than rising up with you or coming to meet you at the top, they're like, I feel small and I feel inferior, so I'm going to squash her and hurt her and stab her and make her little so that I feel big, rather than doing the work on A, why they feel like that, B, why they're polarized by you, and see why the only way they feel big is by making others feel small.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I know these people would not have that awareness. They would still to this day
They never do.
say that I did this and I did that and I didn't do like there's just a complete lack of ownership and willingness to look inside and work on yourself rather than pull other people around. But that I just wipe my hands of people like that. Honestly, I've got better things to do.
I'm so the same. I will always give people the benefit of the doubt. I think that's something that's quite a good thing to a point, but it can also be to my detriment where I give people too many chances, like one that we discussed before we got on this call.
I know, you are a chance generous than me.
People, I know. Yeah. But then in the same way, once I am done with you, you are dead to me forever. I don't, there's no hard feelings. I don't carry anything. I don't hate anyone. I don't nothing. But once you're gone, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'll give you chance and chance and chance and chance. Once I'm like, bye, that's it.
Yeah.
You speak about that a little bit, I guess, with your parents as well, which is that your mum's really toxic and not interested. Same. And your dad, I guess, is probably much like my dad a little bit, which is the way they're just like not very emotionally in tune and don't really care about anything.
You know what? I want to preface this because the way that I've kind of made amends or reconciled this in my mind is they've done their best. They really have done their best with the resources that they've got available to them, you know, and if I wanted to sit and dwell on it and talk about all the things that I didn't get and, you know, then I actually wouldn't have this fucking life. Yeah. Right? The reason why I am who I am is because I didn't have the basic needs met. I probably wasn't emotionally tended to in the way that, you know, particularly that they expect these days, you know. I didn't get, you know, I still to this day, my dad has no fucking idea what I do for work. Like, you know, he's on the psychologist. What if he'd know what I was doing in here on the Zoom, right? He's got no. I did a post the other day too that got a bit of a chuckle out of people. It's like if dad knows what I'm doing, then I'm playing too small, basically. In this. The man never even stepped into my wellness clinic. He'd never even seen the insides of it. Like, didn't have a clue what was in there or what I was doing. But I don't dwell on those things, and I don't need the validation. I don't need a parent going, we're so proud of you. I don't need any of that shit.
I think the hardest, well, not the hardest thing, but I think the thing that a lot of people nowadays really need to come to is that, like, if you're seeking your parents' approval, you're probably never going to get it in the way that you want anyway. So you got to learn to cheer for yourself.
If you're seeking anyone's approval, you're not, you know what I mean? Like, the world is just full of humans that are just humaning and doing their own life, right? And their first job in the world is to not make you fucking feel good about themselves or to respect your boundaries. Like, and this is not to say that you're on your own and there's no support out there. There is, but you have to be psychologically self-sufficient.
Yeah.
You need to be able to self-regulate. You need to be able to make yourself feel good. You need to be able to move when you feel discomfort. You need to be able to build your own psychological capacity.
Yeah.
That ain't no one else's job but yours.
Hard. 100%. 100%. Yeah. I also like, and there's also an element of this that goes along with, like, if someone's not happy for you, so look at their life. Look at your life. No one ever hated on anyone doing worse than them.
Like, I know, and we had this, right? This will probably lead us into the next sort of segment, but I know there's probably more people out there that hate my life and what I'm doing than there are that actually validate it, cheer for it, and appreciate it. I know that, right? Like, we've been rich shamed by other coaches in this industry, like, you know.
You're conditioned to that from a kid, right? Rich people are awful people. If you grew up in the life that I grew up in, and same with you, like, rich people are awful people. Even if you look at things like The Simpsons, Mr. Burns, Disney movies, always the rich people are horrible. Like, you have conditioned to that from when you're young, and then when you actually become of wealth later in life, if that happens for you, you learn that actually those people are very generous.
Yeah.
And they're good people.
You know what?
Just normal people.
Is like, we've come from nothing, really. Like, I came from a very, very, very impoverished upbringing, right? And I did the work to get my head around the money blockages and the fear of money.
Stories.
You know, all of that. I did the work.
Yeah.
But then there's people out there that want to throw stones on the internet, and I just look at them and go, it's because you haven't done the work. You feel the need to put other people down that are winning at life and that are financially prosperous and do value luxury and experience and all the things that, you and I understand that makes your life worth living, and if you don't like that, fine. You're fucking, I don't know, what's your poison,
If you also, though, look at a 30-second clip or a video or a photo or something online and it hurts your feelings that much that you hate that other person or you're jealous of them or you're whatever, that's because you want it for yourself and you know you can't. It's because you're not willing to go and get it. At the end of the day, you're only triggered by videos and clips and things like that are about you.
Yes, but they don't see it that way.
They don't see it that way.
It's everyone else's problem. It's that person over there flaunting her Versace.
It's like my Manosphere video the other week that went fucking multi-fucking viral. I think it's had 4 million views now. And Cam literally said to me, he's like, but if men are bothered by women talking badly about men on the internet, that's because they're the person that you're talking about. I was
Correct.
like, exactly.
Correct.
Exactly. I was like, if it's not about them, you're not going to be bothered by it.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's again, but they're never going to do the work and they won't see it. So you just
it'll be really hard for you as a psychologist too to not psychoanalyze everybody.
Oh, look, it's hard. Well, it's good and it's bad. It's good because I can see what's going on for people, right? It's bad because I probably excuse away toxicity and problems as, oh, that's because she's got attachment issues or that's because she's got really low self-esteem, and it'll be fucking shitty, awful, fucked up behaviour, right? And I've got an understanding for it and a degree of compassion for it.
Yeah.
Whereas other people are just like, fuck her. Or like, why are you still, having a nice conversation with her when she's done this and that and the other thing? And I'm like, because, you
see it.
I can see what's going on for people and I don't judge them for it, So it's good and it's bad. Like, I think I've probably haven't called time on relationships in the space that I should have, because I do tend to see what's really going on for people rather than hold a boundary and go, you know what, I can see what's going on for you and I don't have time for this. Go figure your stuff out and come back to me when you're done, right? Like, I've just kind of made allowances.
Honestly, with the amount of podcasts and books and things that are available in this day and age, there is no excuse for anyone not to do the work. I don't care how you're raised. I don't care what you've been through. Go and do the fucking work.
Yeah. You don't even have to pay for it these days. You can get on podcasts and, and listen to YouTubes, and there's just so much resource available for you to become a bigger human than what you already are. Like, it's literally just a choice.
100%. I 100% agree. And look, I guess this kind of goes into my next question too, which is you're extremely passionate about getting rich and doing so while working the absolute minimum. We spoke quite a bit about outsourcing and everything before, and I think a lot of people kind of hear that and they either love it and they want that too, or they judge it completely because they cannot in their brains comprehend how that's even possible for people.
Yeah.
So and we also talk a little bit about hustle culture and stuff like that. So tell me about that, because
I was one of those people. Like, I used to, when I was working as a psychologist, but more as a contractor, and I opened the businesses, like, I was working full time and running those businesses full time. Like, I was clocking up, 10, 15 hour days, 6, 7 days a week. Like, I was not getting a rest. And some of that's about, well, season of business, suck it up. You've got 3 startups basically that you're trying to get off the ground. But the other part of it was that I literally, my worth and my worthiness was being measured by how many hours I was actually working. And, and if I wasn't working at that level, then I wasn't trying hard enough.
Yeah.
Right? And I had, again, it's this psychological component. Like, business is the biggest personal development journey that you could ever embark on. And at the time, I didn't know that, right? I was a psychologist and I pretty much, to a certain degree, done away with my psychology. I'm like, oh, well, that was a fucking waste of 10 years in university. Right, let's go into business. Not realising that actually everything that I needed was fucking in psychology, right? The way that I led my team, the way that we consulted clients, the way that we marketed, the way that everything was psychology, even the way that I was showing up, the way that I was committing, the inconsistencies in my performance, it was all psychology related, every single part of it. So I was the busy badge person running around doing the big hours. And, in all honesty, I was a work addict. And then it took a long time for me to fucking recover from that. Like almost a drug dealer going to rehab sort of level. Like when I started reducing some of my work hours, because one, I was pretty burnt out and I was pretty fatigued, and two, I was single for fucking 15 years.
Yeah,
right?
wow.
I've got to in life where I was like, I'm looking around, all my friends are gone because I spent my time building these businesses and I had no time to do anything, go anywhere, show up anywhere. If I was invited, I couldn't be fucked because I had nothing left at the end of the week.
Yeah.
And then also from a romantic sort of partnership perspective, I'm looking around and going, life's pretty fucking lonely, right? And all I'm doing is working and feeling like my only hope is that I could build a profitable business and then maybe I'll invest time in the relationships. But I had to actually do it the other way around and start to really contain the work hours, start to get myself back, start to connect socially with people, start to, spend time looking, who's out there and what opportunities are there and actually make the time for people.
I actually don't hate that you did that first though, because I think actually, and I feel that this is especially true of women, I see it all the time with my clients. So many of them have all these dreams and aspirations and things that they want to do. And then they go and meet someone, and this is not to put all the blame on the men, it's not about that, but then they go and meet someone and then they get in a relationship and then they have kids and then they end up being the default parent and all their dreams go by the wayside and they either don't execute it at all because they reach this stage of life where whatever, or they're doing it so much later in life where it maybe just doesn't go to plan or it isn't how they wanted it to be or whatever. And I don't think it's ever too late to start. I don't. No. But I actually feel, one, financial independence is really important, especially as a woman. I think having that is so fucking important.
Yeah.
Two, I actually think my own experience has been meeting my husband as an adult where we were both two very happy, successful people on our own and in our own right, to then come together and have this like beautifully interdependent relationship where we're two still individual people, but like still have a life together is actually pretty awesome. Obviously 15 years being single is a lot and not making time for any of your friends or anything, but I do love that you chased your dreams and you did the things that you wanted to do first.
You know what the funny thing is though, like for that time, like I really started making money, like good money, when I got into my relationship. I reduced my work hours and I started being I wouldn't say less obsessed. I'm obsessed with business. I'm committed and I'm motivated and I'm an executor. But I really started making money when I started working less hours in the business.
Yeah.
Because I was getting rest. I was starting to be more creative. My brain wasn't in complete overload all the time. I was able to access parts of creativity that I wouldn't be able to access if I was just in straight fight or flight. And that's why I preach this model now in terms of the less is more, the more time that you've got for space, self-reflection, rest, creativity. The wealth creation is endless when you start to tap into those parts of yourself. And like I said, back in 2017, if someone had tried to convince me that was the case, I probably would have said to him, I'll go over there with all your woo-woo shit. I'll see you on the other side. You'll be a brokey by the time you finish with that philosophy, right? But it's how it works and it's how all the money sort of started to come forward. And, when you get into it, you start to heal parts of yourself that obviously needed healing, that weren't being, the wounds weren't repairing through working harder. There's a what's the word for it? There's something in there that's not being met or,
nurtured.
You're seeking this sort of acceptance or this worthiness through the dollars and it's not coming forward, and you got to heal those parts of yourself through whether it be relationships or connections or, and it's funny how it all just falls into place once you do something that you would be attached to earning money, like getting into a relationship.
I also think, I just think like certain parts of you heal in certain parts of life. But I also remember those seasons of like literally not having a social life or literally going to something and having like my last two active brain cells fighting for space because I was just so out of it. And I felt like I didn't turn up for my people either. You know, I was just, I'm so sorry. I'm such a blob.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It is hard to juggle everything. But honestly, like I'm a big supporter now of, you know, being able to set your business up in a way that does give you the time to do. And like I said, there are seasons where, right now I'm going through a season of business where I'm working on some of my days off and like
the growth phase. Growth phase so fucking hard.
I'm recruiting fucking 15 offshore Philippine fucking, you know what I mean? Like these,
no, I love it.
Those moments, right, where you've got to put some things to the side and go hard. But if your return to homeostasis or balance point really is less work, more rest, more connection, more intimacy, that's where the real money is made.
Totally. And you had quite an alternative relationship for a while there where your baby daddy was actually a stay-at-home dad.
Yes.
And you were off working.
Yes.
And you have a beautiful daughter who I think has just opened up a whole different part of you.
Little Peggy, yes.
Is she mini Chrissy?
She is in a lot of ways. She's just she's 3 years old now. She cannot be told what to do. It's her way. Me too. Hang on a minute. You know, but she's also hilarious and such a free spirit. And I never want to. I don't want that to be. I don't want that to be beaten out of her. You know, I'm really mindful of schooling models and things like that, which is another controversial sort of opinion that I've got. But I want to preserve her. You know, her
wildness.
What's the word for it? Like her essence.
Yeah.
Without it being, because schooling for me was not an overly pleasant experience.
It was a living hell for me. I
was always
every minute of it.
The only thing I learned to do in high school was to skip down the train tracks outside of the school with the goon bag in my hand and wave it around at the window. And they'd be ringing the bloody police and, that was my high school experience.
I mean, I got asked to leave because I wagged so much.
Or I wasn't there. I was down the street and
100%. And also, like, I just wanted to work. I just wanted to get out and just start my life. I think that's that's one of my notes here as well. Is you're a little bit fuck the system, and I love that because I think we have a very similar opinion of schooling. It sounds like we had a very similar experience of schooling, which is sit down, shut up, be a compliant little employee, be a compliant little housewife. Like that's it.
Don't think outside the box. Do what you're told. Be the same as everybody else.
Don't question anything. Don't ask questions. You're actually annoying. Yeah.
Yep.
What's the plan with Peggy's school?
Well, her dad is Steve. Like I wanted to homeschool her. He's like, you are kidding yourself for that. Like
with all his spare time.
No, because I think he was looking at it going, you mean I'm going to have to homeschool? Absolutely makes sense, right? He didn't have a very positive experience of school either. And not that either one, I would not entrust either one of us as doing the homeschooling. That would probably be someone else. But, probably just nature-based learning. I honestly believe that children don't really need to be educated in the way that we're educating them right now, like the rubbish that they're learning at school. Like even high school, like some of the shit we learned at high school, it's like, why don't you teach kids financial literacy? And
my God, I'm so glad I learned to play recorder and speak 10 words of Japanese, how much that's come up in my life later on. But never knew how to file taxes, never knew how to invest, never learned anything.
No.
Anything.
So I will be looking, like we're probably going down more of the nature-based learning systems. She's in a Montessori daycare at the moment because she's an only child. So
I love that.
I am mindful of the social connection and she's a little bit of a social butterfly. So I do want to keep her in group environments.
I'm really mindful of that. I think Montessori or Steiner will be the sort of direction that we'll take with our kids. There's a couple of really great schools up here. I just think if I had have been in a schooling environment where my ADHD was appreciated and that I can't sit still and I was more hands-on and I was learning about topics that I was interested in. I wasn't stupid. I just had trouble learning in the way that they delivered. And I do think while my life has turned out amazing, what would have happened differently or how I would have structured my business differently or how I would have entered the workforce differently or anything.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the steam was knocked out of me through those experiences, and everything that I've worked on now in my adult life in terms of healing wounds, vulnerabilities that I've got around my self-belief, and really did originate from those schooling experiences.
Yeah. I think you also, how do I put this? Like what you tolerate is what you were told to tolerate. Like what you tolerate right into your adult relationships, friends, romantic partners, everything is what you were expected to tolerate even at school. Like I remember a couple of my teachers being horrible bullies. My own mother was my number one worst bully. Yeah. And then I look back and I've learned through therapy that my best friend through high school was one of my biggest bullies. And so then you have all these relationships as an adult where you tolerate quite a bit because you were always told to just accept it and these people love you and they care about you and blah, blah, blah. And it's just, it's insane.
Very confusing for sure.
Is that your beautiful doggy that just walked past that you... Yes. Oh, my God.
So I've got a greyhound named Trevor. He's the most delightful soul. He is under training at the moment because, as the dog trainer said yesterday, Trev's starting to get a little bit too big for his boots in the house.
Is he?
We've got a bit of a leadership problem in the house at the moment. He had a little snap at Peggy the other day. So we've had to put some structures in place to get him back. He's a rescue greyhound, so...
Oh, and I love that his name's Trevor.
His name's Trevor.
It's the cutest. Like, adult bogan boy names for dogs is probably the cutest thing ever. Like Kevin and...
Yes. Peter,
It's so fucking cute. And he's such a Trevor. And I love that Peggy's got herself a beautiful little companion as well. I mean, you said you love animals more than humans, which I love that. Why do you think we connect with animals differently? And
I think because they're so... It's on airplane mode. I feel like animals are very at face value. There's an authenticness about animals. You know what I mean? They are who they are and they don't apologise for it.
Yeah.
And that's just it. And they're just so loving and grateful. Like old poor Trevor was a racing greyhound, obviously. Oh. And he was in a horrible condition when we got him. Like he was bones, he had he had no hair on the back of him. He had really bad kennel, fluff all over him because he just pretty much slept on Hessian bags. The first couple of days he wouldn't come out my wardrobe because he was just so used to being locked in a kennel and not being able to be let out. But, just watching his transformation over the last sort of 3 months has just been so... just so exciting for me that he's liking humans and he comes over for a pat and, he doesn't scoff up all of his food all at once because he knows that there's more coming. And, I just feel really grateful that I've been able to almost install his trust in human beings and have him see humans as actually great companions rather than people that are taking from him all the time, because obviously he was used and abused, he was raced, and then when they didn't want him anymore, they just threw him to the rescue place. And, humans are way much more than that.
Oh, we think we're the superior race. We are not.
No, and I don't think I would ever, I think I would always rescue a dog purchase a puppy or anything like that, because there's just too many dogs out there that have been discarded for various reasons, some legitimate reasons. So there's just too many dogs out there that need a home, and as long as I can, provide that opportunity, then I'll do it.
I mean, there's videos and photos of people fleeing war zones with their kids and their dogs. I'm sorry, if you can't have a dog, you shouldn't have gotten one in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, I would live in my car with my dogs and go homeless than I would to give them up, honestly.
Yeah.
It's so funny because my first dog, Jed, my Rottweiler, I got him when I was 21. I was single. I was living alone. He was there right through my divorce and so many pivotal times in my life, and everyone used to joke and say we came as a set because we did. He changed my life, and I just think that's so nice. I love my two doofuses now, but not as much as my first one.
Yeah. Look, to be honest, I had two dogs, a Chihuahua cross Jack Russells for 18 years, and I loved them to death, but fuck, they ruined my life. These two, they were neurotic. They would punch the shit out of each other. They were out of control. In the end, like when they passed away, there was a part of me that was really sad because, like you, I'd got them when I was in my 20s and buying my first house, and they were with me through my whole single life. Like, they were my companions, but they were also really high needs. So part of the reason why I went and got Trevor this time around, the rescue greyhound, because I thought I need the quietest, sleepiest, non-neurotic dog that you could find, and that's how I came up with a greyhound.
Greyhounds are meant to be absolutely gorgeous and very chill.
Yeah, but like I said, he's getting a little bit. Yeah, I need to take control of him a little bit now because he can't.
Showing him too much love and he's getting a bit big for his boots.
He's like thinking he's the boss now, and I'm like, no, mate, I'm the boss.
Tell that to your daughter.
Well, no, Peggy's really the boss, and then I'm second.
We joke about that. We always used to say it was Cruz's world and we just live in it. But now that we've got Coco, our little staffy, she's a little psychopath and she bosses everyone around, and even Cruz that's 4 times her size. So it's great.
Yeah.
I love that. Look, I love you so much and I've appreciated this chat so much. I think you've got just the coolest perspective. I think having so many different backgrounds and different experiences and different things, like, if you could dial it back to 20-year-old Chrissy or even anybody else who's listening into going into business or psychology or anything, is there a piece of advice that you would give them?
Just go for it. Just be me. Open fucking 3 businesses all at once with no experience in the industry and spend your life savings, man. You only live once.
Yeah, I love that. I think there's like something, I'm just going to go on a little tangent now that I was going to finish that up, but like, I also think there's something like when it's all in, like you have to make it work.
There's no choice. Like,
you've got to just get it done and you've got to make it work.
Yeah, balls to the wall every time.
I say that all the time. I fucking love that. And where do people find you if they want to look you up, Chrissy?
Oh, bugged if I know. Chrissy Alger, Freedom Creator on Instagram and Facebook.
Good content on there too. I love it.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for your time. I fucking love you. I think you're amazing. We need to do another little get drunky drunk at Crown, I think, soon.
Rubio!